Welcome to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff, DiVeronica and Steve Bradley. You know, Steve, we do a lot of basketball and hockey in the winter, right? How about a little indoor track, a little departure for us? And here we're going to be talking about an athlete who kind of burst on the scene, at least in my world, last spring. Didn't get around the show, but been tracking what she's been doing. And I say track because she is a star in track and field from Webster Schroeder. She is a senior. She's heading to Northeastern. She's the Alberta Rochester reigning outdoor champion. She's a two-time champion in public high school for high jump. Camryn Cole is one of our guests. Camryn, please give us a wave.
Hello.
And her two coaches are with us from Webster Schroeder. Dave Klehr, who is the indoor coach, and Dan Graf, who is the outdoor coach. You can see their names on the screen. Hi, guys. Thanks for making this all happen and bringing to our audience one of the great track athletes in Section 5 and the state of New York. Steve, she is currently the reigning state champion in both the indoor and outdoor high jump. And we're going to find out a little bit more about how she started to get into that event, because I heard, Camryn, it wasn't exactly an easy pull to get you to try high jump. So, Steve, any thoughts on, we've had some really talented ones in the last decade. She might end up, before she graduates this spring, as one of the most talented.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the names we hear, Lene Tava-Thomas, Sammy Watson, going back, you know, and just to compete at that level. And did I read correctly, Jeff, that her jump of 5'11" in the high jump was the best in Section 5 in 30 years? I mean, I think that's the kind of generational talent that we're seeing here. And Camryn, you think you can do better than that too, right? You're still growing into it and learning. Is the sky literally the limit for you?
Well, my motto is the sky isn't even my limit. But yeah, I think I can get past 5'11". It's just getting my technique down, really.
Well, I really love the quote I wrote I read, I didn't write it, in the Democrat and Chronicle. My buddy James Johnson wrote a little piece on you. And the quote you gave, I thought, it oozed of confidence and potential. And honestly, you said, I know I'm capable of way more when you're talking about 5'11", which is, you just jumped at in SUNY Brockport, January 6th. And the state record, I think, if I read this correctly, is 6'1", 1987. That's when I was in high school. So let's start with Coach Graf. Tell me the story about getting this young lady to try high jump. When did you first see her? What'd you think of her? And what'd you have to do to talk her into trying high jump?
Certainly wasn't easy, as she'll tell you. You know, it's really scary for a lot of kids to high jump and potentially land on a crossbar. And, you know, we had to do some poking and prodding and basically said, hey, let's just try it. She started trying the high jump for the first time in indoor last year. And I said, let's just scissor kick it. So that way you couldn't land on the bar if you wanted to. And then all of a sudden she started jumping 5 foot, scissor kicking it. Won their first competition, hasn't lost a competition since, and has actually improved on her technique and quality to the Fosbury flop. And again, as Camryn says, she's got so much more room to grow.
What is the Fosbury flop? What is that?
Oh, come on, Devo.
I don't know what that is.
Everybody knows that one, Jeff. Come on.
All right. Well, before they had mats, they never landed on their back. They always landed on a hand or a foot, and they would do what's called the Eastern and Western roll in the sawdust. Well, then they created the mats. Somebody got a invention there, and then Dick Fosbury was the inventor of the technique that we're talking about. I think it was in that mid 50s to 60s area in time. And well, Cam is really stepping up and learning and understanding her craft more and more each day. And she's gifted, explosive. We saw that in just about everything she tried. And I said, you just got to try it. And she did. And it's been leaps and bounds ever since. And you already heard her speak. And when you have a mental confidence that she has with the skill set that she has, you're right. I would say her expression was pretty awesome. They're way more than this guy.
All right, so you're not kidding. That's the thing, huh? That's the thing. All right.
Yeah, Fosbury flop. It's up there. Dave, what do you think Cam's greatest attributes are?
I think it's her just her grace and her dexterity that she was born with are her like natural, amazing attributes. I was thinking about this interview, and I'm remembering the first time I ever saw her compete was a Tuesday night meet at the Penfield track. They used to have meets on Tuesday nights for all comers. And I'm not even, I think she might've been in middle school spry at the time. And I'm not sure if someone pointed her out to me or I watched, or I'm not sure exactly how it was. And I found out that she was going to be becoming a Schroeder. And I was just already like chomping at the bit. Like, this girl is going to be like the next big thing. You just saw at that young age that she just had a grace and a dexterity and athleticism that is not common. And her turning into a jumper is just kind of something that Coach Graf and I have done over the years. Like, when we see athletes with talent, okay, you're really good at this one event. What else can you be good at? And Cam's other good attribute that she's growing into is being open to suggestions to other events that she didn't necessarily see herself doing. And that really is a great attribute, especially it's going to help her in college, because she's going to be doing multiple events, I'm sure. Something called the heptathlon is in her future, no doubt. And that is also a really big attribute. Her opening her mind to other events and coaches lending their expertise to her, and then she accepting it now is real important.
So Camryn, let's talk about your fears and they're starting this. When I mean, your dad. I talked to your dad for a little bit. Mr. Calvin Cole told me you were a gymnast. And what did you do growing up when you were younger? Did you play soccer? Did you play softball? Did you play basketball? Any of those things, or was you just gymnast and then you went right to being a track athlete?
So first I was a ballet dancer, if you could believe that, because I can't dance at all. But the dance teacher said that I was too hyper. So basically, she kind of kicked me out of the class and told my parents that I can't really come back because I was too hyper. So she suggested to my parents that I go into gymnastics. But gymnastics is pretty much all I've done ever until the age of 13.
So when did you first start doing track? At 14, 15? I mean, you're only what, 17? You're pretty young.
Yeah, I'm 18. I started it at 13. I started it in 7th grade when I retired from gymnastics.
Retired. I heard your gymnastics coach was a little unhappy about that too. Very sad that you walked away.
You know, I honestly don't know. I know that she wanted me. So at first I told her that I wanted to stop, and she said no. She said no. So I kind of retired for 3 days, and then she told me to come back. So I came back, but then I just didn't want to do it anymore. So my parents just let me go.
Dan, Dave shared the first time that he saw Cam. Do you recall the first time that you saw her and what impression she made on you?
Yeah, well, we were doing indoor practice and Cam wasn't on a team yet, and she was walking down the hall, and just looking at her, she was strong, long, lean, and explosive, and just bopping around. Like you said, she's hyper, so she was having lots of fun in the cafeteria and the hallway there as we were having practice, and we started talking, and I'm like, "You're a hurdler?" And that's, you guys don't know, she's top in the state in the hurdles as well, and pretty amazing. She was a runner-up, Cam, last year in outdoor?
That's
yes,
right.
I lost by 0.01 to the girl in states outdoor.
So 1/100th of a second off from being a state champion in the hurdles as well, the 100-meter hurdle. So this girl is just absolutely amazing, and she is just, I don't want to call it a fledgling when it comes to track and field. In those 5 years, once you get past middle school, then it's about technique and it's about understanding your craft. And she's really starting to do that. And things are just happening for her exponentially. And like Dave said, she's going to be a multis girl. I was a decathlete in college at Slippery Rock. And, you just got to have the desire to want to try things. And she's going to Northeastern, from what Cam told me. When it comes to meets, she'll be doing certain individual events. But when they have those heptathlon meets, she'll be representing Northeastern at the highest level. And I guarantee you're not going to forget her name.
We're talking with Camryn Cole, Webster Schroeder Sr., who is going to be going on to college, competing for Northeastern. I think Wake Forest, Penn State were involved in the conversations with you, Camryn. What sold you on Northeastern? Why are you heading there for your college career?
They were really the first one to kind of pursue me. But it was also the environment and the people in Northeastern. So I'm mainly from a Caucasian PWI school. So I was really looking for, the Black representation. So that's what I really found at Northeastern. My athletic director, it's a lady. She is an African-American woman. And my assistant head coach, he's also an African-American male. So I thought the environment was just kind of perfect for me, just to slip my way into college, so I just love it there. I love the environment is mainly.
Before we go, I want to ask about the weather, because Boston is very similar to upstate New York for weather, Steve Bradley. And Camryn grew up in Atlanta until about 6 years ago. Cam, how do you like the winters here in Western New York?
Honestly, I don't enjoy it, especially when I'm driving. It's not fun, but honestly, when I was choosing a college, that wasn't a main factor. But I don't really enjoy the snow.
Neither do I. And I've been doing it here a lot longer than you, all of us probably, right? Steve, go ahead.
Just to keep us right on the college point, Cam, also, how important was it to have like a city that has as much culture and as many different things as Boston too? Because, Rochester's nice, but Boston's got everything.
I think for me and my family, that was kind of the main focus, was the culture, African-American culture that I have surrounded by me, just knowing that I will be taken care of really no matter what. So it was very important.
Well, it's that segment 1 is in the books. We're going to come back, talk more. I want to take you guys all the way back to, we're going to talk about potential and technique and all stuff. And I also want to hear a little bit more of the Schroeder County champion girls team. But I'm going to take you all the way back to the delivery room, Steve Bradley. Tell you a little story about Camryn that her dad told me about. I don't know if the coaches have heard this one yet. And what happened in the delivery room after this young lady was born. So with that tease, we'll take a quick break. You're watching us right here on YouTube on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.
Whether it was Dad letting you grill for the first time, or Grandpa taking you out to a ball game, or even a summer picnic before the fireworks on the 4th of July, Zweigels has created generations of memories that shape who we are and what our community has become.
Jump right into the classroom at Roberts Wesleyan University for Academics in Action Discovery Day. During this academically focused day on February 20th, you'll get the chance to gain hands-on classroom experience, learn about our beautiful facilities, and explore our various programs and major offerings. Choose between a variety of options during the Academics in Action breakout session to learn more about what we have to offer. We can't wait to meet you on February 20th. The event starts at 9 a.m. Register at roberts.edu/visit.
You don't choose to get hurt at work, but you can choose the workers' comp attorneys at Connors and Ferris to fight for your money and medical benefits you deserve.
With over 20 years of industry experience, we will give your case our undivided attention so that you and your family can focus on your recovery.
So call Connors and Ferris, the workers' comp attorneys dedicated to fighting for injured workers' rights.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Hi, this is Jeff DiVeronica. I'd like to tell you about my friends from Doyle Security. We lost my father-in-law a few years ago, and that meant my mother-in-law was going to be alone in her house. One of my first calls was to Doyle. Doyle has an award-winning burglary detection system, and that gave her peace of mind again. It gave her comfort. These days, you can't put a price tag on that. Whether it's for your family or yourself, at any stage of your life, Doyle is there for you. For seniors, Doyle offers a personally enabled GPS emergency response system They have a full array of smart systems, including fire and carbon monoxide detection, security cameras, and more for your home or business. More than 35,000 families and businesses rely on Doyle every day and every night. Family owned and operated for more than 100 years, you don't have that kind of staying power unless you're doing something right. To learn more, call 1-866-GO-DOYLE or visit godoyle.com.
There are plenty of professional sports teams in Rochester, but there's also a lot of great high school sports action in each town in our area. When's the last time you checked out a high school game? Section 5 sports are about more than just wins and losses. They're about teaching teamwork, dedication, and discipline. So support the kids who play for your school. Get out and watch a high school game today. For more information, including schedules, rosters, and stats, visit section5.org. That's sectionv.org. Brought to you by the Monroe County League and Section 5.
Baby, sweet baby, oh baby,
You know, whether you come here as a 6th grader or a 9th grader, you have to spend your 4, 5, 6 years here and just get involved in so many different things. And then you're going to go out and set fire on the earth. When you get through McQuay Jesuit, you're not going to fail when you get out in the world.
So from the consultation to the installation, I think the word that comes to mind is easy. I've talked to a lot of people where their renovations have been nothing but headaches, and this was never a headache. It was easy. From the moment Marty came and talked with me about all the options and about all the process, he was so easy to talk to. It was like talking to an old friend. Laid everything out. There was no pressure. I just felt very at ease about the whole process. And then when Ryan came, he was in at 8 o'clock and he was out by 3:30. It was incredible. And with the supply chain issues right now, the one thing that I loved the best about Bathfitter was that they do all of their own production and then they also do their own installation. So it was a quick process. We were able to get the installation date within a few weeks, and it was just easy. And we are so thrilled with our brand new gleaming tub. So we couldn't be happier.
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff, DiVeronica and Steve Bradley talking some indoor track with Webster Schroeder, standout Camryn Cole, and her two coaches, Dave Klehr, the indoor coach, and Dan Graf, the outdoor coach, who've helped turn her into, along with her own hard work and natural ability, into one of the best high jumpers and athletes really in the state. But Dan Graf, you shared something during our break I want to share with our audience because bad research by this guy. Where does she rank in the country, Coach Graf?
Right. Well, as we said, she is the indoor and outdoor state high jump champion for New York, but she is currently ranked #1 with her jump of 5'11", and the next closest girl is 2 inches below at 5'9".
And I think the goal is, I think I read this in the paper too, it's 6'1". Camryn, is that what you hope to get to in the next month or so?
Yes.
Up and away, huh? What have you found as the biggest challenge about this, now I know they talk about, I know a lot about track, but plateauing, right? Like you get to a certain height or a certain speed. How do you, and maybe this the coaches could weigh in too, but Camryn, how do you try to bust through that next level?
Well, I take it kind of outside the track field and I train with my dad down in our basement. So we work. So actually my sister works out with us too, but we work a lot on our muscles. Cause yeah, so we take it more out of the track and I work at 5:30 in the morning, on my muscles and, train 2-3 times a week. So, yeah. So
dad is what's his exercise science? I think, is that what is his in college? Yeah.
Yes. But he's a cancer researcher.
No, right. And you all moved here for jobs for your mom and dad. And your mom is an occupational therapist, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And how old is your sister?
She is 13.
Just the two of you?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We'll keep an eye out for her. Steve, sorry, go ahead, sir.
No problem. Dave, both you and Dan have talked about technique, and Kim has cleared 5'11". Has she tried any higher heights? And is there, I mean, we've talked about how far she can go. Has she been close at 6'1" or anything? What's the history of other attempts?
To be honest, have Coach Graf field that one, because he is like the event coach in high jump, so he could speak to that more. I know that she probably has not attempted that height too often, because it's one of those things you got to build up to it. But Coach Graf can talk about that a little bit.
Well, she's basically attempted it twice, and she's not 6'1", but 6 feet, because outdoor, when she did it in outdoor at the Monroe County Championships at Rush Henrietta last year, she then set the Section 5 record with a 5'11" jump, and she also attempted that 6 foot. And again, in Brockport, like you were mentioning, Jeff, this indoor season at one of our regular league meets, she did the same thing. And it's just timing. Right now, when you use the Fosbury flop technique, your arm and upper body go, and then you level out, and your hips raise, and then your hips drop, and then you have to kick out. And if your kick doesn't come quick enough, you can drag the bar off, and you could have been over the bar. And that's pretty much where she was. She is technically not quite yet there, and but she's explosively and power-wise, and probably even better now from what she's been saying as far as the squat work and explosive work. She's been working in the basement with her father, who was a trainer as well. I think the door is wide open, just waiting for her to come across that bar.
Camryn, I don't think we ever got your answer to this question, but we said it took a while to convince you to try the high jump. What was your, your hesitation to go ahead and trying this? And I guess if you had to give some advice to young kids out there about trying and getting good at the high jump, what would you tell them to do? But so what was your hesitation?
I honestly, I didn't want to be a jumper. I was like, I'm a hurdler. Why would I jump? Why would I do high jump? And I didn't think I was going to be good enough, which is another issue. When I actually tried it, I was like, I'm not going to be good enough for this. I'm not going to be good. Why am I even trying this? Why am I going to even try to do this? Because I'm not going to be good enough. But yeah, I did try it, and obviously I'm here now. But I would tell other people, and I have told other people, just listen to your coaches. Legit, look at me. That's what I told them. Look at me. I got a scholarship to college because I listened to my coaches. I'm saving a lot of money because I listen to my coaches. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least you tried. So that's what I tell a lot of people, and I told somebody yesterday. So
coaches across Section 5 are going to figure out how to record their screen and show this to all their athletes and all the sports. Listen to your coaches. It's a great story. It's really cool that it took that, and you have good coaches obviously that helped you get there too. But I want to go back to your dad real quick. I will never be in the basement working out with my daughter at 5:30 in the morning. I can tell you that. How key has he been in your physical and mental preparation to try to become an elite athlete?
Physically, he has been there whenever I needed him. Whenever I needed him, he has been there.
Was he an athlete?
Yeah, he will say so. I honestly don't know if he was an athlete or not. He went to UCA for football, but I don't know if he was an athlete or not. But
hang on, if he played a college sport, that's athlete. Go ahead, Coach Graf, jump in.
Well, we went down with Cam down to Virginia Beach for a Virginia Beach Classic, which she won this year. Down there was a national meet, and I had 9.5 hours to talk to that man, and he is not short on words. And I'm going to tell you, he was a very talented middle linebacker in football, and he went to, was it Central Arkansas? Central Arkansas. And
Scottie Pippen, right?
Yep. Got a scholarship there, and it wasn't easy. But he was a competitor, and there's some athleticism in the family.
Coach
Hey,
Klehr,
Jeff, let's
Steve.
get Coach Klehr to tell us a little bit more about this indoor team that won. It goes beyond Cam. I mean, obviously she's a big part, but Coach, who were some of the other keys in the county victory this year?
We are obviously real fortunate to be blessed with a plethora of amazing talent on that girls team. One thing that I'm going to remember most from that county championship one is that it's a repeat. And I told the girls that gets pretty special. You can get kind of lucky and have a good group of girls and coaches come together and get one, but to get two in a row is real special. And so I'm going to remember that. But we also had 3 school records broken that particular night. One thing that we're kind of overlooking is that Cam actually set the school record, and she's also the #1 long jumper in the state because of the long jump that she did at that county meet. She went 19 feet, 3.5 inches. And then Corinthia Griffith set the school record again. She's #1 in the state in the triple jump right now, and she's 1 inch off the Section 5 record in the triple jump. She went 40 feet, 11 inches. And then I had a 600-meter runner, Shelby Boys, who dropped like 2.5 seconds off her 600-meter time, and she set a school record in the 600 meters. So those 3 girls had a fantastic day and were kind of leading the charge. And then we had another young lady, Lauren Curry Wilburn. It's her first year doing track. She's done other sports and she's been kind of hopping around from sport to sport. She's a junior and just joined us this year. I wanted her last year. The basketball coach got her on the JV squad, and she decided to do indoor this year. And she's helped us tremendously. She got points in both the long jump and triple jump. So it was truly a team effort. But I'd say that there's probably like 4 girls that we all they're shouldering the big load. And then we have a lot of other role players that are key into helping us get to where we were at the county meet. And we want to get better over the next couple of weeks. We feel like we could hopefully repeat as the sectional champion as well. And that really is our goal right now. It was at the beginning of the year, kind of low key. We didn't talk about it a lot till now. But now it's our focus, and the girls are excited. Coach Graf's excited, and we think that we got a good shot.
Camryn, tell us about what's happening very soon in your future at the Millrose Games. Where are you going, and what do you be doing there? Tell us about that.
Well, like you said, I'm going to the Millrose Games at the Armory in New York. I'm very excited. Trying not to think about it a lot because, a lot of your top athletes, Olympians have been there. So I'm just trying not to think about it as much. So, but I'm very excited.
And will this be the biggest venue you ever competed in?
Of course, yes.
And Dan, could you just add a little bit of perspective to maybe the folks that don't follow track and field as closely, what it's akin to be invited to the Millrose Games, how special you have to be to get even the email that says, hey, we'd like to have you? Right.
I believe right now in the country, both Cam and Corinthia are top 10 in the nation in regards to long jump as well. And the elite meets such as the Millrose Games, the Penn relays that they have in outdoor that we'll be going to as well this year. They want the highest caliber of athletes at their meets. This is their showcase. And basically they invite these girls through their coaches to go to these meets. And if the girls choose to go, the field gets pretty large and pretty talented quickly. And so this is a huge opportunity, especially for somebody who's going D1, competing against the best girls in the country in her near future. So this is a great opportunity for her to go get her game on.
So you and Corinthia are both going, and you're both in which event are you competing in?
We're both in long jump.
That is so awesome. So Cam and Corinthia, that is so cool for Schroeder track and field. Wow, very good. Awesome. Camryn, I guess the next question would be is, college is next, right? And how far do you want to try to take this thing? Do you, I know it's only been in your mind for a couple of years, right? What you've been doing and your ascent here, but do you dream of the Olympics? Have you thought even Olympics? Have you thought that? Or is that just so far down the line and you can't even go there yet?
It's not far down the line at all. I did get serious. For me, track became serious last year, but my success is just, yes, the Olympics are, in my future, I believe. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to continue to work hard for it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to being in the Olympics for the heptathlon.
Now, Jeff owes us that story from your dad, Camryn, but
you're right.
I did want to just ask a follow-up in terms of, do you have any role models, people that you look up to that maybe had similar stories that came from other sports relatively late, or just you look up to for other reasons?
That's funny because I actually have no particular role model at all.
Maybe dad.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I look up to the guidance of my parents, mostly my dad, because over the years he's taught me a lot and I put him through a lot. So I don't really look up into anybody more than my dad, even though, you know, it's rough with us. I don't look up to anybody other than my dad, really, and my mom.
That's pretty cool. So here's what your dad told me, and we had a very pleasant conversation. He said that when you were born, he said before you were born, you were always kicking in the womb quite a bit. You were moving quite a bit like a gymnast would be in the womb. And then so much so that when your mom was pregnant with your sister, that they were worried something was wrong because your sister was not moving in the womb that much. Like they kept like trying to get your sister to move in the womb like you did. So your dad said that after you were born, and she's smiling, guys, he told me that, and the nurses said they'd never seen this before. Baby Cam like literally jumped off the weighing table or scale like that. They had to like catch her. So he said you were jumping from the get-go, kid. So the hesitation to become a jumper, come on. You probably went home and said, Dad, they want to turn me into a high jumper. And he probably said, that reminds me of a story the day you were born.
My parents were like, field event? What's a field event?
Well, it's been really cool getting to know you here on Zoom, and hope to watch you probably this spring, more so for me than probably in an indoor meet. But Steve, any final thoughts for Miss Cole?
No, I just continued success to you. It's been great getting to know you, and we're going to follow you as long as you're doing it.
Yeah, when I got here at the start of my career, Camryn, there was a young lady named Abby Wambach who really kind of started to emerge when I got here. And I'm coming probably to the close of my sports journalism career to a degree, whether it's digital or I don't really write anymore. But it'd be cool to watch you fly, kid. So I wish you the best of luck moving forward. I know Steve and I will always be connected to the sports scene in Rochester. Even when we don't do this show, we'll still be following local sports. So we wish you the best of luck moving forward, Camryn. Thanks for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Dave and Dan, the D&D boys, thank you for making this happen real quick. We appreciate it. And good luck with everything the next few weeks and in the next few months, Coach Graf. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Dave.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
For our producer, Joe Brott, and my co-host, Steve Bradley, I'm Jeff DiVeronica. Thank you for watching us right here on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.